5:44 a.m. down at the beach. It's kind of nice out. It's windy, but it's like a warm type of, it's a warm wind, which is usually what you get. It's only been extra cold recently. Can only imagine what it's like on the mainland right now. You know, this place has been so cold. You know, can only imagine what it's been like over there. I don't know what to do about water anymore. Like, I used to think, like, I used to drink a lot of bottled water, and now it's like you're hearing a lot about microplastics, how they seep into the water in the bottles. And I always kind of thought about that, like, I mean, years ago, before this was even something that would come up in articles or whatever, and I gotta put a pin in that, because I'll come back to that. But I remember having, like, I'd get cases of water, and on a sunny day, they'd sit out there, Prince Kuhio. Very cool. Yeah. Prince Jonah Kuhio, Kalinea Oi. Very cool. There's a lot of statues like that around here. But yeah, I remember looking at it in the back of my car one day, sitting in the sun, and then bringing a case into my house and drinking it, and it just tasting like fucking plastic. And thinking like, hey, this can't be good, right? You know? Turns out, I guess it's not. But here's the thing I want to put a pin in, is that I'm seeing a lot of articles about microplastics and their effect on human beings and how they get into the water. Excuse me. And, you know, why would the media be saying this now? Like, it used to be, you know, tap water could have all this stuff in it, could have antidepressants, yada yada. It's better to drink bottled water, and now they're trying to make a case for why you shouldn't drink bottled water. So it's like, I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. I was thinking of just getting one of those purifiers you can put on the nozzle and stuff. That's pretty cool, this thing here. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, does any of it matter? I mean, they seem to have everything covered as far as poisoning you. There's just kind of no escape from it. You just kind of have to put your faith in God and hope everything works out, you know. This is the best time to be out here. There's no one around. Although the few people that are around are absolutely 100% certain that I'm filming them. What are you gonna do though? That's always the case, no matter what. But yeah, so it's like, I don't fucking know what to do about water anymore. So I've kind of moved away from the plastic bottles, and now I'm just like drinking out of the tap. But even that, but that's how it is with everything. It's like they have fucking full spectrum dominance with all the food, everything you drink. It's all about, like, poison mitigation is what foods come down to for me. Try to find the stuff that's the least poison and kind of go with that. Well, I just eat a lot less than I used to. I mean, I eat a lot less. I don't eat sort of big meals anymore, and I'll eat once a day and have something small here and there. Some days I try, I mean, if I'm fasting, you know, I don't eat anything. And fasting is good. It puts you closer to God. I don't know how, I mean, there's people that could explain why that is spiritually. Like why fasting is, puts you closer to God. I think, there's probably some simple things with it. The less material, the more ethereal. I don't know. The less carbon. But yeah, whenever people want to get closer to God, they would fast. Fasting is always included in like these sort of divine visions and things like that. It's just good for you because it's like especially in the West, our bodies, from the way they've told us how to eat, I mean, in my lifetime anyway, where it's 3 meals a day, snacks in between, and the meals are big. What you're doing essentially is you're turning your body into a waste treatment plant on legs. It doesn't have time to do any of the natural healing that your body does. Your body's like a healing machine. If you give it the time to do it, it'll fix almost anything. If you give it the time. And part of giving it the time is not shoving food in your throat constantly, because what happens at that point is then anything that would be, any resources that would be set aside for healing something in your body, or fixing something in your body, is completely smoking prohibited by law. Oh yeah, past this thing. I'm on the sidewalk here, so I can do that. I've got a ticket for like smoking in this little grass thing before. And I remember talking to the cop, and I'm like, I thought you just couldn't smoke on the beach. He was like, yeah, you can smoke on the beach. I'm like, well, this isn't, because I was over here. I was like, wait, probably, what's weird? Every time I try to talk about something that happened here, it always shows up when I come here. This is exactly where I was. And, I was just asking him, like, why, where does the beach start? Because the beach is over there. In fact, there's like a little wall over there, back where I was, near the Duke. So he was like, well, this is considered a park. This part in between the sidewalk you can smoke on. Anything past that you can't. Even though this greenery isn't the beach, it's considered a park. I didn't know that. How would you know something like that? But whatever. And in Hawaii, it's a criminal offense. So you have to go to criminal court and go before the judge and the whole deal for smoking. They take it pretty seriously. I wish they'd take other stuff seriously. And food like that you buy in a supermarket, like 80% of that stuff didn't even exist like 80 years ago. Never mind like 100 or something. There just wasn't, a lot of those products they're like faux food. Like they're consumable, but they don't have a lot of stuff in them that's good for you. And a consequence of this is that there are people whose bodies are literally starving, even though they're eating all the time, because what they're eating doesn't have anything good in it. It's kind of crazy. So for me, it's like I kind of try to get the things that I know aren't going to like immediately kill me. Like I try to get stuff that, I try to eat a lot of fruit. Popcorn is big around my house. Occasionally, I'd say like about once a week, Mia's mom will send food over for us. What did we have last night? We had like bulgogi beef. She cooks a lot of beef, like Korean style. It's really good. Like I'll eat that stuff. I'll eat anything her mom makes, basically. But as far as like, when I do get hungry and want to get something, I don't know what the fuck to do. And there's a million places to eat here, right? But I don't know. I look at everything with a sideways eye. Because you kind of have to, I just walked me to work, and we were talking about someone we know that has all these problems that they didn't have before. They took the science juice, and and now they're pretty much disabled. Crazy. But like, it's so weird because people like myself could look at that from a mile away and see that, okay, you don't want to take this. Even if in the beginning I didn't know exactly what it did like I do now, you know, or how it works, or about how it forms structures, and so, you know, I don't know what I could say. I don't want to say anything else because I've gotten a ban for that. And I got a ban for it once for medical misinformation, but they didn't say exactly why they banned me. It was one of those things. YouTube always does that. Like, oh, they'll give you some really general term, you know, and without telling you exactly what it is. And the reason they do that is so that you'll avoid anything that has to do with a certain subject. You know, what are you going to do? But before I knew what it did, specifically, I looked at it like, no. No, because I know what ones that have been around for ages do to you. Actually, you know, at that time, I hadn't really super looked into it about just regular standard ones you get when you're a kid. I did after that. And basically, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, they kind of just put all this stuff in you, and then it's like a roulette type of situation. Like the roulette wheel spins as your life goes on, and eventually it lands on something, and you're like, oh, I have this. And it originated from, you know, that massive series of injections you get as a baby, and now there's more and more. Like when I was a kid, there were a few, you had to get some, but now it's like if you have a kid, that thing is like a pincushion with these people. They're always jamming stuff into it. You have to go back and get more stuff, and the result is the baby's always very ill after. And then they tell you that's a good thing because it means that their system is reacting to it. That's not a good thing. I don't care what they say. You know, it's another one of those things where it's like, you didn't see the mattress, you know, or this man is a woman. You know, it's just the system telling you things that you know isn't true. They're telling you to ignore your eyes and your senses and everything else that you have. And to just trust me. You know, everything is with them now is, dude, trust me. And you kind of have to, or else you're going to have a lot of problems, you know, whether it's societal pressure or, you know, in the case of the thing from a couple of years ago, loss of jobs, loss of fucking family, all these other kind of problems that came along with not doing it. It's weird, too, like, you don't hear much about it anymore with all the stuff they have going on now. With all the, you know, you get the war, you get the fake aliens, you got all this other bullshit. In the news, one after another, it's almost like it keeps people from discussing that anymore. Like, no one really talks about it. You don't hear much about it except for the unprecedented death toll among people who never used to drop dead in masses, you know, and kids having heart attacks and all this other stuff. But they don't give you time to really think about that stuff because they move right on to the next thing. This year's going to be nuts. You know, it's already started pretty hot, but like it's going to just be one thing after another. You know, because they want to keep you focused on what they want you to be focused on. It's like, so they got to shake the keys in all these different directions to control you. I mean, obviously that's what it is. It's just controlling their cattle, their livestock, or what they perceive to be their livestock and their cattle. It's too bad, but it's just how it is. I mean, it's a shitty situation, but it's what we kind of have to go through. We're meant to endure, you know, to endure this whole thing. Oh no, sorry. I have one in my hand, but I don't want her to see it. she's a nice lady, but I think there's something wrong with her. Like, she had some kind of accident. If I had to guess, maybe not an accident, maybe she's just born that way. She has like a kid kind of brain. Well, a lot of people have that problem here, but she has like an extra kid brain. She's nice, you know, but I had to stop giving her cigarettes because, like, when, you know, she's going to ask every time she sees me anyway. But what would happen is when I give her one, the requests become more intense, you know. She'll run across the street to get to me, you know. And every time I'd go to give her one, she'd be like, "Can I have two?" And I'd be like, "Okay, here's another one. Can I have three?" And I'm like, "No, I only have a couple left." You know, she's not trying to be a dick. She doesn't know she's being that way, you know. I don't take it personally, of course, but yeah, she's up every morning, and I've noticed just because I've been, you know, I've seen this happen. In the morning, she goes to ABC and like buys a bunch of alcohol, like shots and quarts of different, not quarts, like what are those little things? Pints, yeah, of things like hard liquor, and then walks home. But I don't know if people around her allow her to smoke. I don't think she's allowed to or something. This is just what I'm guessing. So when she gets out here, she just starts asking everybody walking down the street, old ladies, little kids, "Have a cigarette?" I just say no now all the time. Usually in the morning when I'm out walking, I have one, so I just, you know, I do the old underneath the hand kind of thing so she doesn't see it. But, you know, I feel bad for her, but there's a lot of people like that here, a lot of disabled type of people. But yeah, our friend is just fucked up. All the stuff, you know, all the kinds of, the clotting, you know, loss of circulation, loss of limbs, all the classic stuff. It is that meme. It's that train meme. Like, you see them coming, and you see the train coming down the tracks, everybody's laying on it, and all you can do is watch. I mean, you can try to warn them, but they're going to attack you. Viciously, demonically, almost like they're possessed. Because they are. Sometimes things are exactly what they appear to be. That's something I don't think people stress. You know, your whole life you're told, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. Things aren't always as they appear. It's like, yeah, well, sometimes they are. And sometimes you can. Simon the Bond says that from Duran Duran. I trust him 100%. He says, always judge a book by its cover. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think there's a place in between. But, you know, but that's Charlie. He's a bit of an extremist sometimes. Alright, I'm going to go in. So quiet, it's so nice. I just want to keep walking, but I'm not going to get inside and do some work on some things I've been working on. I'll be back later. Hopefully with something more exciting or thought-provoking. Or both. It'd be nice to have both. And entertaining. I try. I got my, I figured out I did already 500 hours out of my 10,000. You know, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become, proficient at something. So, just counting in my head, rounding it off, I'm about at 500 hours. You know, I was going by how many videos I've done, which is just about 1,000. Not all of them are on the channel. A lot of them I got rid of just because they were just old when I was figuring some things out, and I've since made stuff that circles around to a lot of the subjects, so it just became superfluous and unneeded, so I got rid of them. yeah, I'm about 500 hours in. So in about 15 years, I should be good at this. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.